Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Chris Gorski.
Today is November 10th, and today we have an article about something which I bet is really delicious, even though I haven't tasted it before.
You know, I was thinking about our topic today, and I was thinking the exact opposite, thinking, boy, I really don't want to try this.
I can understand both sides, but I would really like to try it because that's mostly what I have for lunch. I cook up a leafy green vegetable or some other vegetable.
That's right. And I agree with Karen. I would like to try our topic today. And our topic today, in fact, is called Moroheiya, the leafy green super vegetable.
Now, that sounds pretty Japanese. Let's just get used to it. Moroheiya. And the Chinese, we can't give you. You're going to have to look at the magazine. So that is our title. Let's get going. Moroheiya, the leafy green super vegetable. The term superfood is a broad concept for foods that are rich in nutrients and offer various health benefits as a regular part of one's diet. When people are asked to name superfoods, common answers include popular fruits and vegetables such as avocados, blueberries, and spinach. However, there is one lesser-known leafy green that may actually surpass all other vegetables in terms of nutritional value. This vegetable is Moroheiya, a plant that grows in parts of Asia and Africa and has gained fame as a superfood in recent years.
Although Moroheiya may not be a household name in the West, it has long been used in cooking in Asia and Africa. Notably, Moroheiya is a key ingredient in traditional Egyptian stews. The Egyptians have incorporated this leafy vegetable into their diet for centuries. A soup made from the leaves of this plant, which was believed to have healing properties for various illnesses, even graced the tables of the pharaohs. Thus, it acquired the title, the king's vegetable, within their culture.
A look at some of the statistics for Moroheiya reveals some truly impressive attributes. This green superfood outranks carrots for its beta-carotene content and broccoli for fiber and, perhaps most impressively, boasts 5 times as much calcium as spinach. Furthermore, Moroheiya contains a substance called quercetin, which has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that help protect humans against cancer and other serious diseases, as well as reduce tissue injury caused by drug toxicity.
For these reasons, Moroheiya has found its way into the plant-based food market in recent years, with companies now using it as an ingredient in foods such as plant-based instant noodles. If you're interested in health and nutrition and keen on keeping fit, expect to see more of this super vegetable on your plate soon.
Now, I have to comment on one thing before we go back to the beginning. If you want to eat healthy, Moroheiya is great, but instant noodles are not.
I wonder if what's the phrase? Lipstick on a pig.
Oh, no. Makes me think of a certain person.
Okay, so the phrase lipstick on a pig says you're trying to make something ugly and kind of we think would bad. You're trying to pretty it up and hide it. Instant noodles aren't really great for you, but what if the noodles were a little bit healthier? I understand it. Listen, as a person that's a vegetarian, sometimes I still have to eat unhealthy, and boy, do people love to tell me how bad and dumb I am for eating like veggie patties sometimes. Like I hear it all the time. From people that are far unhealthier than I am, far out of shape, have unhealthy weights, and boy, do they love to tell me how bad I am for eating these.
We just have to suck it up. Okay, back to our title, Moroheiya. Get used to that. It's kind of an unusual word. I think Americans would kind of think, oh, how the heck do you say this? So when you run into a word you haven't seen before, just treat it as though it were the KK pronunciation symbols. Just read it with confidence because you are not going to do any worse than any native speaker. Native speakers also, they just kind of panic when they see a foreign word. They have no idea how to say it. So you just go in there and sound confident, and that will be great. Okay, so the leafy green super vegetable. Now, if we were just saying that a vegetable is really wonderful, we would say, what a super vegetable. But here it is a special type of vegetable. It's supposed to have a lot of nutrition, more than most vegetables. We don't stress it that way. We'll stress it super vegetable. Okay, our first paragraph. The term superfood is a broad concept for foods that are rich in nutrients and offer various health benefits as a regular part of one's diet. So we use the term super vegetable in the title. Now they're talking about superfoods in general, which includes things besides vegetables. So first of all, explaining what it is we're talking about, foods that have especially high nutritional value. And they also give you other health benefits. So maybe they're good in, for example, treating certain diseases or making them less serious. So a regular part of one's diet, we often think of eating less in order to lose weight, but your diet is just the things that you eat every day, that you eat and drink. Okay, and so let's just listen to it one more time. Listen to the stresses, because a lot of things are not stressed because they are compounds. For example, we don't say health benefits. We say health benefits because health is a noun, benefits is a noun. We don't stress benefits because that's the word that's being modified. So let's listen carefully for the stress. The term superfood is a broad concept. Broad is an adjective. Concept is a noun. If you have an adjective plus noun, both of them are stressed. It's not like a noun compound like I just mentioned. It's a broad concept. That means it includes lots of different things in it. For foods that are rich in nutrients and offers various health benefits as a regular part of one's diet. Okay, next sentence. When people are asked to name superfoods, common answers include popular fruits and vegetables such as avocados, blueberries, and spinach. And it's happening a second time. My mouth is watering.
So superfood is actually a marketing term. It was first brought up in the early part of the 20th century, but the first superfood, in fact, came out in 1918. Any guesses?
No idea.
Bananas.
Wow.
Bananas were considered the first superfood, and in fact, the second superfood didn't come out until 1991 when the term was revived. The second superfood was?
No idea.
Blueberries.
Yeah, boy, that one really gets a lot of press. There is this writer in a magazine I subscribe to. Every single article is about how healthy she is because she eats blueberries in her oatmeal. I'm really tired of it. I love blueberries. But I think we can go to the other extreme and kind of have a superstitious belief that certain foods work magic. They're just foods. Maybe they have good nutrition. But the key to good nutrition is variety, not eating one superfood.
Yeah, magic was the word that came to my mind as well, that some people are almost latch on to certain foods, and this is what it is. For me, generally speaking, as a health-conscious person, I try to eat as many one-ingredient foods as possible and put them together. If you look at the package, it should have one ingredient on it. Try to get as many of those into your diet as possible. I'm not saying I don't eat processed food, because I certainly do, but I make a conscious and regular effort to eat many single item foods in my dishes put together. So I'll have carrots. That's the only ingredient. Then I'll have mushrooms, and I'll also have whatever else in there, but they're all single ingredient.
Now, in another program with Wesley, we were talking about how you should simply cut sugar out of your diet completely. Added sugar. There will be sugar in all kinds of natural foods, especially fruit. That is fine. But if you're going to add refined sugar into your food, it's really, really dangerous for your health. I read in a post recently by somebody who ended up getting a heart attack, and he is sure it can be traced back to eating too much sugar. Okay, and one other thing, they mentioned avocados, and I really like avocados, but be careful. They contain a lot of oil, so eat them in moderation. Don't eat too many of them.
I'm a big fan of avocados. My colleague, she has an avocado every single day. She uses it as her healthy fats. And I often will kind of beg her for some. We will usually split them. I'll give her money because she gets them, and she's really good at keeping them fresh and getting them regularly. So we'll go splitsies on them, and it's really nice. It's a good pairing. I love avocado on a lot of food.
I like avocados, but I have also read that they are not really sustainable because they require so much water and fertilizer and everything. So I try not to eat too many of them. And also one further point, because they contain so much oil, when I see somebody dousing their avocado in olive oil, I think, don't you have enough oil already? You don't need olive oil. I mean, I put lemon and salt and that's enough. Okay, next sentence. However, there is one lesser-known leafy green that may actually surpass all other vegetables in terms of nutritional value. And this may be true, but watch out for what we mentioned. Do not start believing in wonder foods. You need a variety of foods.
So leafy green is interesting because it feels almost incomplete, but this is a totally fine statement here. There is one lesser known leafy green. Leafy green what? Vegetable. But we kind of know we're talking about vegetables here, so it can be omitted here. But leafy green is being very specific here. This is something that looks like a leaf. It's not broccoli. Broccoli is very good for you, but we're talking specifically here about things like spinach and bok choy, which I'm a big fan of.
That's right. And the darker they are, if it's a dark green color, usually the more nutrition they contain. Something that does not contain much nutrition is iceberg lettuce, for example. So that's the usual lettuce that you will get in Western restaurants for salads. So go for the darker leafy greens. This vegetable is Moroheiya, a plant that grows in parts of Asia and Africa and has gained fame as a superfood in recent years. Now, it may have gained fame, but apparently it has not turned up in my Facebook feed, so I missed it.
I haven't heard of this yet either, although when I looked into health food websites, it was very readily available, including things like noodles and instant noodles that we'll hear about later, or that we actually heard about at the top of the article. And so apparently it's widely available if you are in this particular market and looking for it. I read that Moroheiya has a viscous, sticky texture. I like to call it slimy. It's kind of like okra, which is not a texture I am a fan of.
Especially among most Americans, we don't care for that.
My wife really enjoys several dishes like this, so I'll have it with her, but I usually will eat less than I normally would of leafy greens. As a young person, I didn't particularly enjoy them, but as an adult, I really enjoy just lightly boiled leafy green vegetables. They're so pleasurable to eat, but that slimy texture is still something I hold on to. I just don't have a lot of love for it.
There is another one, and I'm going to break the rule because I really don't know how to say this in English. There's a leafy vegetable called chuanqi. That one is also slimy.
Yeah.
And not everybody goes for that. That's true.
I think today might be a day where you kind of have to bend the rules because I was thinking about today's article, and I just don't know the names of some of these vegetables in English.
I don't either. There's another one called huanggongcai.
I don't know this.
That's got little curly cues, and that one is also
right.
And that's also slimy. I tend to avoid that one.
Okay.
So if you're not a fan of slime, you can try it and see if you like it.
Okay, second paragraph. Although Moroheiya may not be a household name in the West, it has long been used in cooking in Asia and Africa.
In fact, there are all kinds of plant foods that are eaten in other countries that we simply don't know about. But that's true of Taiwan, too, because zucchini wasn't known in Taiwan till recent decades. And it didn't grow very well at first. Apparently, they figured out how to grow it well. So now zucchini is a very common vegetable here, but it wasn't at first.
That's right. In fact, I remember this was a long time ago at this point. I remember seeing a big fat yellow zucchini, just like the kind we would grow in our garden.
Summer squash, actually, that is, if it's yellow. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was 350 NT for a single one.
Yeah, right. It was
comically
imported.
Expensive because we would grow these so readily in our backyard. And I think I bought a proper zucchini a couple weeks ago. It was 50 NT.
It's
and
cheap
that's
now.
Still a little high, but think how relatively cheaper that is.
It's very easy to get now. And I was so happy. I mean, I've gotten over my craze for zucchini because it's become more common, but it took quite a while. There's one other vegetable that we can't get here that's actually not that popular in the States, but it's one I love when I go back. It's turnips.
Yeah, I'm okay with those. The whole beets and turnips and all those, I've never had love for them. There's nothing against them. I just don't like them.
That's, I think, a typical American view. Most people don't really like them, but I really love turnips. You've got Chinese white radish here. You call it by the Japanese name daikon sometimes. We have something similar, but it's less watery. It's denser, and it's got a really sweet taste. You boil it and mash it and put butter on top. My mouth is watering. It is so good. And you can mash it with mashed potatoes.
They're also really fun and easy to grow. Those were something I used to grow as a kid, like turnips, radishes, all just stick them in the ground. They would grow. And it was so fun to just kind of learn about gardening through these.
Radishes are easy to get here, but not turnips. That's one you can work on Taiwan. Okay, let's go on.
Notably, Moroheiya is a key ingredient in traditional Egyptian stews, which sounds really good.
It sounds good because Middle Eastern food is so delicious.
Very, very, very yummy. Now, a stew is a thick soup, in case you don't know. It's something that would roll off your spoon very slowly. This would not be something that would just fall off really fast like a water.
Yeah, that's right. And you often make beef stew here in Taiwanese cuisine.
The Egyptians have incorporated this leafy vegetable into their diet for centuries.
And this made me think back of my trip to Egypt. I went there with my mother-in-law, and the food was wonderful, but I didn't remember any unfamiliar leafy greens. I missed that one.
A soup made from the leaves of this plant, which was believed to have healing properties for various illnesses, even graced the tables of the pharaohs.
So apparently they valued it very highly.
So, and I believe this makes our previous sentence an understatement. The leafy vegetables being fed to people for centuries is an understatement. This is now thousands of years ago because the last pharaohs was around 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
So, a pharaoh is an Egyptian king, just in case you don't know this word.
The pronunciation, I say pharaoh, but I had a teacher who said pharaoh. Have you ever heard that?
No. And as a previous social studies teacher, I have also never heard this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have always known this word as pharaoh.
I have also always called it pharaoh. I think that teacher maybe was going a bit overboard.
Thus, it acquired the title, the king's vegetable, within their culture.
Okay, so it has a very, very high position in their culture. Next paragraph. A look at some of the statistics for Moroheiya reveals some truly impressive attributes. So this does not give us a lot of information because we've already been primed. Primed means prepared. They've already told us that there's a lot of remarkable things about this vegetable, and they haven't specified yet. So this sentence is just an introduction to what's coming. This green superfood outranks carrots for its beta-carotene content and broccoli for fiber, and perhaps most impressively, boasts 5 times as much calcium as spinach. Now, these are vegetables with reputations for being very nutritious.
That's right. In fact, spinach is it's one of the healthiest foods, I would argue, relative to its ease of purchase. You can get spinach anywhere. Kale is argued to be an even healthier food. However, I think kale is still kind of tricky to get, generally speaking. Spinach is kind of everywhere, including even back when I was a kid. I remember seeing a can of Popeye spinach. Oh, man, I wanted that so bad. My mom says, you won't like this. You're such a picky kid. I wanted it, man. And she made it for me, and I had it with a big glass of orange juice. And I had 1 spoon, and I was like, but I couldn't bring myself to hate Popeye. So I just shoveled this into my face and felt terrible the whole time.
Yeah, canned spinach is vile.
It's
V-I-L-E, vile. It's awful. That's because it should not be canned. Fresh, it's wonderful.
But man, Popeye on that can, crushing it with his fist, and it just looks so good. I had to try it.
I know. I have to tell a story what happened to me once. So I was sleeping over at the house of the grandmother of my friend when I was, 8, 9 years old. And she was serving canned spinach for supper. And I said, I'm not touching that stuff. I wasn't a picky eater, but no, I wasn't touching that. And then my friend says, oh, but I love it. And she was eating lots and lots of the spinach. We slept in the same double bed while staying at her grandma's house. And she said, Karen, I got to get up. I go, what? She says, I have to go to the bathroom. I go, okay, so I got up and I turned on the light, and then she threw up like crazy. This happened 3 to 4 times in the night. The 3rd time, I got up and I opened the closet door for her. I was getting so tired. And I thought, I told you. I don't know if it was from the spinach, but it just fortified my idea that canned spinach is not good.
This relationship of canned spinach is terrible.
Yuck. Yeah, but fresh spinach is wonderful.
Fresh spinach is great. I agree. Or lightly boiled or fresh. It's great on a sandwich. Throw away that lettuce. Use spinach.
And then there's spanakopita, the Greek dish. That is really delicious. And spinach contains a lot of iron. Okay, to continue. Furthermore, Moroheiya contains a substance called quercetin, which has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that help protect humans against cancer and other serious diseases, as well as reduce tissue injury caused by drug toxicity. That's a mouthful. It's a long sentence. But what it's saying is there are a lot of conditions that this vegetable can probably help with.
Let's continue. For these reasons, Moroheiya has found its way into the plant-based food market in recent years, with companies now using it as an ingredient in foods such as plant-based instant noodles.
And we've already discussed this. Skip the noodles. Just eat the vegetable.
If you're interested in health and nutrition and keen on keeping fit, expect to see more of this super vegetable on your plate soon.
Maybe I'll look around and see if it's available at the local Carrefour. Okay, here is our first question. In the context of the article, a superfood is a term used to describe foods that are highly blank and provide numerous health benefits when incorporated into regular diets. The word that goes in the blank is?
Nutritious.
Yeah.
Let's continue to number 2. The chart below displays the amount of beta-carotene, fiber, and calcium in 3 vegetables. Please write down the names of the possible vegetables based on the information contained in the passage.
Here we have a table, and it's got 4 columns. The first column is vegetables. They're going to list the 3 vegetables we discussed, or 3 of the vegetables we discussed. The second one is fiber, and that's grams per 100 grams of something. The next one is calcium, that's milligrams per 100 grams. And finally, beta-carotene, which is, I think, micrograms per 100 grams. And in the first row, we have
carrot. And carrot has 2.7 grams of fiber per 100 grams of carrot. We have 28 milligrams of calcium per 100 grams of carrot, and we have 7,700 micrograms of beta-carotene for each 100 grams of carrots. And so now we need to look at the next 2 vegetables and figure them out.
The next row under vegetables has a blank. And as for fiber, it's 2.8, calcium 49, beta-carotene is 4,200. Looking back at the article, we find that the answer to fill in this blank is spinach.
And the final row of this table, we have 5.9 grams of fiber, 260 milligrams of calcium, and 10,000 micrograms of beta-carotene. And of course, what's the answer here, Karen?
The star of our show today.
Moroheiya.
Okay. Question number 3. Which of the following statements are not supported by the information provided in the passage? A.
Blueberries are considered a superfood.
That is true. So that is not our answer. We're looking for something that is probably false or it's not supported by what we've learned from the article. And B, Moroheiya can lower the chances of tissue damage. That seems to be true according to the article.
Letter C, Moroheiya is gaining popularity among health-conscious individuals.
Also true according to the article. Letter D, in some Asian countries, Moroheiya has been a common sight on dinner tables. Yeah, it's becoming quite popular.
Letter E, compared to other vegetables, Moroheiya is overwhelmingly the most renowned superfood.
No, Chris didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. If we don't know about it, how many other people are going to know about it? We should know about something like that. No, all right. So E is a correct answer because it is not supported by the article. F, Moroheiya was nicknamed the king's vegetable because it was served to the emperors in ancient Japan. No. They didn't talk about that. That's an incorrect answer, so we circle it. And it is an answer that we want. That's it for today. Go out and look for some Moroheiya and find out what it's like and tell us.
Yeah, you enjoy it. Maybe not me.
If it's a little slimy, well, just simmer it in a little water and then add some ginger shreds because that's usually the way people cook slimy vegetables over here in Taiwan. Let us know how it goes, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.